evening and welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. You're with me tonight, Supajanklin Suwan. The Thai and Malaysian Prime Ministers agreed to seek even more cooperation in promoting peace and stability in the region, especially curbing violence in the southern region, while today Pattani saw 3 more insurgents shot and killed. 3 suspected insurgents were shot and killed in Pattani's Panare district today in a gunfight with authorities after they failed in an ambush plot on a group of soldiers. After 20 minutes of gunfire exchanges, 2 militants died at the scene. At least 3 insurgents tried to flee the scene. Authorities managed to hunt down and kill another insurgent. No names or details of the dead were yet available. Police have confiscated M16 rifles and a 9mm pistol used by the insurgents. Since January 2004, an estimated 5,000 people have lost their lives to violence in Thailand's deep south, even though for the past 6 governments, ending violence has always been a national policy. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra was in Malaysia yesterday, where she and Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak talked about a variety of issues, including cooperation in restoring peace and stability in the region.
Prime Minister Yingluck has requested Malaysia to provide whatever assistance and cooperation we can to help Thailand in the process towards the long-term solution in the south. We both agree that this is a domestic matter for Thailand and that the people in the south must not seek for a separate state. They must reject violence and extremism.
We see our cooperation as a key to ASEAN communities building, regional connectivity, peace and prosperity. With Malaysia scheduled to be ASEAN chair in the year 2015, Thailand is confident that the launch of ASEAN communities will be in the good hands. We look forward to ASEAN being a key driver of economic growth and stability in wider Asia-Pacific regions.
The issues raised in the 2-hour talks between the 2 leaders included drug trafficking, smuggling of arms and weapons, bilateral trade as well. The 2 leaders did not talk about the blast on Sukhumvit 71 last week, where one of the main bomb suspects is now under arrest in Malaysia and for whom Thai officials are seeking extradition. Still on the issue of the Valentine's Day bombers, while the Attorney General is still busy requesting extradition of the 31-year-old Iranian bomb suspect captured in Malaysia, the police here back at home have found a symbol which is believed to be a link to an assassination plot. Stickers labeled SEJEAL have been posted on light posts, walls and ad signs at least 27 locations along the Plunjit area. Police believe the marks are used by the bombers as they plot an assassination on Israeli diplomats. Police are still on the case, yet no more arrest warrants have been issued, despite rumors that there might be more people involved. The investigation of Muhammad Hasai, one of the 3 people who fled from the exploded house on February 14 and was about to flee the country into Malaysia, have not yet led to any further information. Police Commander Piopan Damapong has also ordered police officers to stop hinting to reporters about developments in the case, as it might affect the investigations. Until now, the Attorney General has been working closely with Malaysian authorities to extradite Masud Seganad Seda, one of the suspects who managed to flee Thailand after the bomb incident but was captured by Malaysian officials. Tomorrow's cabinet meeting in the northeastern province of Udon Thani will likely see a handful of projects being green-lighted, some of which are seen by political analysts as returning favors to the provinces which last year elected the Pheu Thai. In a meeting with the private sector in the region, the Prime Minister today proposed at least 11 projects to boost trade, logistics and investment in the northeastern region. Some projects, like the high-speed rail link between Bangkok and Nong Khai, are worth as much as 150 billion baht. A special economic zone in provinces along the Thai-Lao border may be considered as well. One project which will be of special interest to farmers is the Khong Chi Moon Water Management Scheme to make sure farmers in this region have sufficient water during the farming season and fewer floods during the rainy season. However, there were a number of protesters who claimed that they have been asking the Prime Minister to help solve their poverty issues since last year. They will gather tomorrow to see if there is any solution. Meanwhile, Shumphon Chamnansarn from Udon Thani Ratchapat University's Faculty of Political Science says it is natural for politicians to return the favor to areas which supported them. All 9 MPs from the province are under the Pheu Thai banner. Udon Thani is also famous for being the stronghold of red shirt supporters. Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm Yubamrung He admits that these visits are partially to give more attention to provinces which support the government. However, Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm says that when it comes to budget allocation, there will be no favorites. This is the Yingluck government's second cabinet meeting outside Bangkok. The first cabinet meeting tour was held in Chiang Mai, and next stop, Phuket Island, which is a stronghold of the opposition party. Tomorrow afternoon, the Constitution Court will be hearing the cases of 2 critical emergency decrees, namely the 350 billion baht loan and the transferal of the 1.14 trillion baht FIDF debt to the Bank of Thailand, or the BOT. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister refuses to give information at the court hearing. The Prime Minister refuses to give further information regarding government plans. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra says that she only gave short answers to wait for a court hearing tomorrow afternoon. Following the government's emergency decrees of 350 billion baht loan and transferring of the 1.14 trillion baht Financial Institution Development Fund, or FIDF debt, to the BOT, Pheu Thai Party has already cooperated with the chairman of the House of Representatives to assign the FIDF's debt for 75 days of consideration. This will help speed up the procedure to finish by mid-May and enable the fee collection in July this year, instead of the normal process that might take up to 6 months. Meanwhile, the Constitutional Court has called for a meeting of individual judges for their rulings at 9 a.m., followed by voting. Then there will be a public announcement of consensus of the judges' ruling at 2 p.m. It is expected that this will take up to 1 hour. The Asian Development Bank, or ADB, stated that in the 21st century, it is essential for countries in the Greater Mekong sub-region, otherwise known as the GMS, to develop sustainable economics due to environmental problems and increasing demand for food. The economic development and Greater Mekong sub-region, which has an impact on natural resources and environment, has become the real challenge of this region, especially the management of food, water, and energy. During the 2-day conference on green development key to growth in Mekong region organized by the ADB, policymakers from the GMS countries, development partners, academics, and private sector representatives discussed how to find balance between economic growth and environmental sustainability. Stephen P. Groff, Vice President of the ADB, pointed out that we need to chart a pro-environment roadmap to 2020. The challenge is to increase efficiencies in resource use, restore, and recapitalize the natural resources base.
In the region, 35% of Mekong hydroelectric potential. So it really has a lot of headroom in terms of its opportunities to develop hydro capacity.
ADB's Vice President stressed that food demand from the Mekong River region is expected to increase by 20 to 50% by the year 2030. Therefore, this region needs appropriate policy signals and regulatory incentives ready to be implemented. Today, Sattahip police managed to arrest a human trafficker who forced at least 11 boys to shave their heads, dressed like novices, and ask passerbys for alms and donations. 48-year-old Bunnipa Sipyeongchan and 3 of her assistants were arrested by Sattahip police in Chonburi province. Police found 11 boys whose heads were shaved, along with a donation box, monks' robes, monks' bowls, and more than 10,000 baht in cash. Before the arrest, a number of boys had reported being forced to shave their heads, dress up like novices, and walk around for alms during donations in Bangkok and metropolitan areas. The Sattahip police commander said that Bunnipa who is the alleged human trafficker, will take the sons of those who owe her money and force them to beg for food and money. She also fed the children with methamphetamines. Officials reveal that at least 100 more boys are still being used by this gang to beg in other provinces. Investigations are still ongoing. Eurozone finance ministers today finally sealed a second bailout deal for the debt-laden Greek economy. While expected to resolve Greece's immediate financing, the deal is unlikely to revive the nation's shattered economy.
After a marathon 13 hours of talks, Eurozone ministers have agreed measures to cut Greece's debt to around 121% of gross domestic product by 2020, after private bondholders offered to accept a bigger loss to help plug the funding gap. Agreement on a €130 billion rescue package with strict conditions attached will help draw a line under months of uncertainty that has shaken the euro currency bloc, and it will avert an imminent Greek bankruptcy. However, a report prepared for ministers by EU, European Central Bank and IMF experts said Greece would still need extra relief to cut its debt down to the official 2020 debt target, given the ever-worsening state of its economy.
Significant progress has been made, and the combination of these significant efforts plus the ambitious program with a clear focus on competitiveness should really give enough space for Greece to restore its competitiveness, to improve its debt sustainability, and to demonstrate that with good and solid and rigorous implementation, checked on a regular basis by the various partners associated with the program, it can get back on track. That's very much the hope that we have, and as I said, I will take the matter further to the board of the IMF during the second week of March.
Today's agreement will enable Athens to launch a bond swap with private investors to help reduce and restructure its vast debts, put it on a more stable financial footing, and keep it inside the 17-country Eurozone. Private sector holders of Greek debt are expected to take losses of 53.5% or more on the nominal value of their bonds.
The euro debt is one factor that Thai exporters would be looking forward to hearing more about. Moving on, the Sea Right Award has a mission to create understanding among countries in this region through literature. However, language remains the biggest obstacle. Therefore, learning cross-culture remains very limited. Since the year 1979, the Sea Right Award, or Southeast Asian Writers Award, is given to a writer from each of the member countries of ASEAN in an effort to encourage people in this region to exchange culture and ideas, creating a better understanding between the people. The award is sometimes given for a specific work by an author, or it could be awarded for lifetime achievement. The types of works that are honored vary, and have included poetry, short stories, novels, play, folklore, and even religious works. However, some Sea Right Award recipients reveal that this award is not much of a success when it comes to linking people of this region.
Yes, I am very interested when I read Lukisan, work by Kampung Bentawi. I think this novel is a very great novel. And in Malaysia, we have same background, same writing from like Kampung Bentawi from Shahnun Ahmad. So Shahnun Ahmad also write some about people in the peasant situations in called the Ranjau Sepanjang Jalan. But I look Kampung coming with something in positive way. Kampung write about tragedy about poverty, something like that. But this tragedy not made you cry.
SM Zaki says that not many countries will translate the works of neighboring countries within the region as well. Meanwhile, only a very small number of Southeast Asian right achievements have been translated into different languages in this region. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. Thank you all for watching. I'm Supajon Klinsawan. Good night. Sawasdee krap.